I was shopping for watches, and that's a lie because I wasn't actually ever planning on buying a watch, but I met a couple friends in the city and we went to a watch store, and it's a very expensive watch store. I believe it was Cartier in in Manhattan. It was like their flagship watch store, three levels. They started where they sort of see what you're about on the bottom floor, because that's where all the most expensive watches are. That you have the bottom floor new watches, you have the APs, you have the Patek Philippe's, you've got the Rolexes. Like everything you're looking at is $40,000 and above, or that's what it felt like. Like everything you pull out, like even they have the watches on display, and then they have more watches in the drawer. And I'm like, oh, certainly the watches in the drawer are going to be cheaper. And I pull it out and I almost shit myself because I saw an $80,000 price tag. And that's just what it is when you walk into a store like that. I was a complete outsider. And they figure out who you are on the bottom because based on how you react to the watches on the bottom floor, which are the most expensive, then they go, okay, this guy is in it, or this girl is this lady's looking for a watch. She's serious. He's serious. Whoever the fuck it is, they see the swagger. They see if you're taken aback by the price tag. Someone comes over you, offers you a champagne or an espresso, and that's when they find out if you're the real deal. And I was not, so I made my way up to the second and third floor where they have they have like the main floor, and then there's a certified pre-owned floor below that, and then there's like a top floor with still really good watches, but Omegas, other ones that aren't going to be $30,000, $100,000. So it's like they get you into the main floor, then they're like, all right, this guy's serious. He's going to be hunting for a six-figure watch or something in that range, and then they're like, all right, this guy does not know what he's doing. He clearly cannot afford anything on this floor. We'll send him down to the certified pre-owns, and then if nothing there, we'll send him up. So I did this whole journey, and I have to admit before walking into the watch store, I've never been a watch guy. I own like the Instagram watches that you see advertised, those movement watches. I have a couple of those, and they look nice, but they're not feats of technological advancement in the watch game. They're not impressive. They look nice, but like the actual making of the watch, it's just putting parts together from China and shit like that. Like this store is beautiful handmade watches where the craft has been perfected over centuries. And you're walking, basically through like this time portal of watches, three floors, because you don't realize that Rolexes, they pretty much look this. Like if you look at old watches, they change very slowly over time. So you're looking at designs that have staying power and technology that has staying power, and it's all handmade and it all works really well, like to the fucking T. And these the people on the floor are telling you all about it, and what it says about you, and the size of the frame to your wrist, and like all this stuff, and a lot of it's going over my head. But I have to say, I walked into the store not giving an absolute shit about watches. I was just like, if a watch looks good, it looks good. If it doesn't look good, I don't care. I don't care what's inside the watch. I don't care about the history of the watch. I don't care about how it's made. Fuck that. Fuck that. And then I went in the store and I put a $40,000 AP on my wrist, that an Audemars Piguet. And I have to tell you, I see why people commit war crimes, because I'm talking like as soon as this watch hit my wrist, and like I felt the weight of it, like it has a different feel from, just like an average watch that you'd buy online that's a few $100s. Like I put this AP on my wrist, and I understood why generals just go, oh, yeah, take over this country. We need more resources. Yeah, no, it's fine. Launch the drone on that Afghan wedding. We got to take him out. You just have like you put something so impressive and so expensive on your body that you just go, oh, I need to acquire more resources at any and all costs. And in that moment, in in that moment, if I had the nuclear codes, I would have been salivating at those buttons saying, who can I take out to get more APs on my wrist, to get more Rolexes, to do whatever it takes to retrieve more watches for myself. And then the watch was taken off my wrist because the guy helping me in the store is probably like, this guy is an absolute fucking, he's a poor pig in New York City. I make a decent salary, but I'm New York poor. Like I'm making, I'm not making the type of money that I could go in and just buy a $30,000 watch. That's insane. But this guy was like, all right, that's enough. And he ripped it off. And then the spell just ended instantly. It's like the watch is on my wrist. And I'm like, oh yeah, fucking, let's fucking take over fucking Greenland and Canada. Like Trump was saying all that wild shit. And I'm like, why would we go to war with Greenland? Why do we need Canada to become a 51st state? And then I had AP on my wrist, and I'm like, let's fucking Mexico too. Fucking come on, Colombia, Canada, all of them. Power's mine. And then the guy ripped the watch right off my wrist, and then I was just like, and I fell back to reality. And it was like a dream. It was like a nuclear fever dream where the watch, it was like the ring from Lord of the Rings where the watch just took me over. It planted its hooks. It sunk its hooks deep into my brain, and it tried to give me the power that I couldn't handle. And I've been thinking about it ever since. I've been like, damn, that fucking, like now I can't look at my movement watch the same. Even though it's a nice watch, I look at it and I'm like, I wouldn't fucking start a war over getting this watch or more of these watches. It's fine, but it's nothing special. And now I'm back in reality, The watch gives you the power. The watch, it's like people, I feel like people who make a normal amount of money, like I make a normal amount of money where I can travel, I'm not worried about where, food's going to come from. I have a decent apartment, and I'm an extremely lucky person. And that being said, I look upon people who own like the Lamborghinis and the Rolexes and like the fucking mansions, and I go like, who would ever fucking spend money on that shit? What an absolute waste of a life to spend, $400,000 on a car or $150,000 on a watch or, $10 million on a fucking house that you're in for 3 months a year. And I'm judging these people from below below the threshold because I can't live that life even if I wanted to. And then you sort of like get a glimpse of it and my mind goes, oh my God, this is the most fucking gorgeous piece of technology I've ever had on my wrist. I will do horrible things with this on my wrist to acquire more. It like the point is like it's insane to judge people who can do things that you can't because you don't know what it's like until you're actually doing it. And when I put that watch on my wrist, I was like, I need more of whatever this is. This is insane. And that's why I shouldn't be filthy rich. If I was a billionaire, I'd be an absolute piece of shit because if one watch can do that to me, then I can't imagine, what would two watches do? Jeffrey Epstein started with a watch. That's allegedly how he put the fucking what do you call it? One of the they have like a seafarer. I forget what we were looking, but it was like a maybe an Omega or something. But it was like a seafarer. It's just like a sexy boating watch, something you would wear if you owned a yacht. And I was like, this is the type of watch that you get inducted into a circle like Epstein's. Like you put on this watch and you're like, oh, I am running a trafficking ring now. This is something only people own if you have a boat and you're doing illegal shit. And that's a life that I hope to God I never know, because I don't think I can handle that sort of power. I bet it's just going off of the power of the watch and like the wealth and the way it takes over your mind. I bet that Truman almost didn't drop that bomb on Hiroshima. And then he looked down at his Rolex and he was like, fuck it, let's drop two. Like, sir, are you sure? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, have you seen my fucking watch? Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Osaka, Beijing. Sir, we don't need to drop five bombs. I think one will do. And he's like, well, we're dropping two because have you seen my goddamn fucking wrist? It's saying it's bomb time right now. It's fucking atom bomb time. Fucking lock in and let's go. So yeah, watches are great. And maybe I'll be a watch guy. Maybe I won't be a watch guy. But right now, I'm just going to sit here and fantasize about what life would be like. Because, what other option do we have?